Good evening, hello and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination news, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point tonight, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is gunning for the Congress and the Gandhi family once again in Parliament. The opposition walks out. Who won this round, Prime Minister or the opposition? That's going to be our talking point. Also, India's leading agriculture expert, Professor Ashok Gulati, joins me on the Indo-US trade deal and its implications for Indian agriculture. So we've got plenty, as always, on the show tonight. But the story that's breaking right at the very top, a fresh protest has erupted in Tuibong in Manipur's Churachandpur district on Thursday evening, just 24 hours after the formation of a new BJP government in the state. The protesters have opposed the formation of the government that has a Meitei as the Chief Minister, Khemchand Singh, as well as two deputy chief ministers, one of them who's a Kuki. But the Kuki groups are alleging that their demand for a separate administration has not been fulfilled, and they have also expressed strong resentment over Kuki MLAs joining the newly formed government. According to police sources, protesters in the Churachandpur area attempted to block roads by burning wood and tires. They also pelted stones at security personnel who are deployed in the area. In response, security forces have been mobilized to control the situation and prevent any further escalation. As I said, all of this coming within 24 hours of the new government being sworn in after almost a year of president's rule in Manipur. I'm joined at the moment by Tapas Sengupta. He's our correspondent who's tracking what's happening in the northeast. Tapas, it was 24 hours ago that we had a new chief minister and a new government in Manipur. President's rule was lifted. Now in Churachandpur, presumably some of the Kuki Zo militias are once again on the street. And we are told citizen groups as well. What are their demands? What is it that they really want now?
Well, see, Rajdeep, from day one, Churachandpur had been the epicenter of violence in Manipur since 2023. And it, with a lot of hope, when the government was formed yesterday, when the new chief minister took oath, and with the two deputy chief minister, one from Kuki and another from Naga, people thought, and especially the government thought, that things would subside over a period of time. But within 24 hours, we had seen that similar kind of violence that we had seen in yesteryear have taken place in Churachandpur, and things spiraled out of control very quickly. It's basically the Kuki-backed a group. They had called for a complete shutdown, supported by civil society people. They had expressed the resentment over the formation of the government. They said that they were not happy because their perennial demand to have a separate administration was not met as discussed earlier, and henceforth they had called for a shutdown. And during the evening, when the roads were blocked and tires were burned, the security forces, which were adequately deployed, tried to disperse the crowd, and it is then that situation spiraled out of control. And in order to take control of this situation, the police even went further to corner the crowd. But as of now, the situation remains tense. Still an hour ago, we had learned that the stone pelting is continuing sporadically, but more forces have been kept on standby, and it is imperative for the government and the law enforcement agencies to maintain calm over the night, because if it spirals out of control, then things may get worsened by tomorrow. Back to you.
Okay, Tapas Sengupta, with those very latest details, just highlighting the challenges facing the new government there in Manipur to bridge that simmering divide between the Kukis and the Meiteis. Okay, let's turn to our top focus tonight, the showdown in Parliament. Now, in the Lok Sabha, the motion of thanks to President Draupadi Murmu was passed without the Prime Minister's reply and without the leader of the opposition being allowed to complete his speech. Probably the first time that has happened in parliamentary history. But the Prime Minister did speak today in the Rajya Sabha. This amidst opposition sloganeering and eventually a walkout by the Congress in the middle of the speech. Other parties like the Trinamool had walked out earlier. Tonight, we start with excerpts from the Prime Minister's speech that targeted the Congress and the Gandhi family in particular, along with the Trinamool that is its main opponent in Bengal and the DMK in Tamil Nadu. Take a look at Prime Minister Modi's speech, highlights of it, before we come to our face-off.
मोहब्बत की दुकान खोलने वाले मोदी तेरी कब्र खुदेगी के नारे लगा रहे हैं जी। ये कौन सी मोहब्बत की दुकान है जो देश के ही किसी नागरिक के कब्र खोदने के सपने देखती हो? ये कौन सा संविधान से उन्होंने सीखा है जो देश के ही किसी नागरिक के कब्र खोदने की बात करते हो? क्या ये संविधान का अपमान नहीं है? क्या ये मानवता का अपमान नहीं है? क्या ये सार्वजनिक जीवन की मर्यादाओं का अपमान नहीं है? और उनको इसका कोई खेद नहीं है। आदरणीय सभापति जी, ये मोदी की कब्र क्यों खोदना चाहते हैं? ये सिर्फ नारा नहीं है, ये इनके भीतर पड़ी हुई नफरत का प्रतिबिंब है, इसकी अभिव्यक्ति है। और वे इसलिए हैं, हमने 370 की दीवार गिरा दी, इसलिए वो मोदी की कब्र खोदना चाहते हैं। हमने नॉर्थ ईस्ट में बम बंदूक और आतंक का जो छाया बना रहता था, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में शांति और विकास का राह अपनाई, इसलिए वो मोदी की कब्र खोदने पर सोच रहे हैं। पाकिस्तानी आतंकियों को घर में घुस करके जवाब देते हैं, इसलिए मोदी की कब्र खोदने की बात करते हैं। ऑपरेशन सिंदूर करते हैं, इसकी उनको परेशानी होती है और इसलिए वो मोदी की कब्र खोदते हैं। कांग्रेस के शातिर दिमाग जिनका है, ऐसे एक युवराज ने उनको गद्दार कह दिया। अहंकार कितने सातवें आसमान पर पहुंच चुका है इनका। और कांग्रेस को छोड़कर के कितने ही लोग निकले हैं, कांग्रेस के कितने टुकड़े हुए हैं, कई लोग दूसरे दलों में गए हैं, लेकिन औरों को तो किसी को गद्दार नहीं कहा उन्होंने। लेकिन कल सांसद को गद्दार इसलिए कहा क्योंकि वो सिख थे। ये सिखों का अपमान था, एक गुरुओं का अपमान था। और कांग्रेस के अंदर जो कूट कूट करके सिखों के प्रति नफरत भरी पड़ी है ना, उसका वो अभिव्यक्ति थी। नेहरू जी से पूछा कि उनके सामने कितनी समस्याएं हैं, तो उन्होंने उत्तर दिया था 35 करोड़। नेहरू जी ने जवाब दिया था कि उनके सामने कितनी समस्याएं हैं, बोले 35 करोड़। उस समय हमारे देश की जनसंख्या थी 35 करोड़। अब आगे देखिए, 35 करोड़ देशवासी नेहरू जी को समस्या लगते थे। ऐसा कोई मुखिया हो सकता है क्या जी? और इस बात का उदाहरण देते हुए इंदिरा जी ने आगे कहा कि आज देश की जनसंख्या 57 करोड़ है, इसलिए मेरी समस्याओं की संख्या भी उतनी ही बड़ी है। यानी पिताजी को 35 करोड़ समस्या वाले देशवासी लगते थे, अब 57 करोड़ उनको समस्या। कोई ऐसा हो सकता है जो अपने ही देशवासियों को समस्या माने? आदरणीय सभापति जी, मेरे कई कोटेशन मिलेंगे। मैंने दुनिया के सामने कहा है, देश के सामने कहा है, और कहा है इसलिए नहीं, ये मेरा कन्विक्शन है। अरे चुनौतियां कितनी ही क्यों ना हो, 140 करोड़ समाधान हमारे पास है। चोरी करना जिनका पुश्तैनी धंधा है, जिन्होंने एक गुजराती की सरनेम भी चुरा ली, महात्मा गांधी की सरनेम चुरा ली, ये लोग और देश की जनता इतनी समझदार कि ऐसी पटक देती है तो लोगों को।
जितने भी रूल्स और रेगुलेशंस है उसी के तहत हम बात कर रहे थे। हम कोई हंगामा नहीं कर रहे थे या हम जाके उनको डिस्टर्ब भी नहीं कर रहे थे, लेकिन उन्होंने ये ठान लिया है दोनों अपोजिशन लीडर को बात करने नहीं देना, लोकसभा में भी और राज्यसभा में भी। ये लोग हमारे पार्टी को और हमारे नेताओं को अपमान करने का काम करते हैं, इसलिए हम कंडम किए हैं, हमको बात भी करने नहीं दिए। इसीलिए सारे पार्टी के नेता लोग ये तय किए कि अगर वो बात करने नहीं देते तो हम लोग वॉकआउट करना चाहिए, प्रोटेस्ट करना चाहिए।
Opposition walking out, the Prime Minister targeting the Gandhi-Nehru family. Who won this round, Prime Minister Modi or the opposition? Was the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi, silenced in the Lok Sabha? Does the opposition decision to walk out give a walkover for the Prime Minister? Joining me now in our face-off tonight, Jothimani Sennimalai is Lok Sabha MP Congress, and Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi is MP Rajya Sabha, national spokesperson of the BJP. I want to come to you, Sudhanshu ji, because we just heard the Prime Minister at some length. An attack on Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru, Sudhanshu Trivedi, died in 1964. We are now in 2026. That's 62 years later. What is the need in every speech for the Prime Minister to invoke Jawaharlal Nehru? It almost seems as if Nehru obsession has not gone away. Talk about issues of today rather than talk about what Nehru did or didn't do in the 1950s and 60s.
Rajdeep ji, I would like to further expand your stance. It's not that Jawaharlal Nehru died in 1964. I would like to go further back. Jawaharlal Nehru was party president in 1930 and Motilal Nehru was party president in 1920. And still, what is the need of Congress party sticking to their family? After 1 century, the high command of the Congress party is still the same family. So you are sticking to that, not we are sticking to that. And on the other side, whenever you try to speak, the problem is the impact of Nehru-Gandhi family is so vast, so all-pervading in the Indian politics that whatever you will pick up the issue of Sardar Patel, the Nehru will emerge. You will pick up the issue of Ram Mandir, Nehru will emerge. You will pick up the issue of Subhash Chandra Bose, Nehru will emerge. You will pick up the issue of Somnath, Nehru will emerge. You will pick up the issue of Nehruvian model, Nehru will emerge. And one thing I would like to ask, through your program, Congress officially abandoned the Nehru's social economic model. The socialist economical Nehruvian model was dismantled and destroyed in 1992 along with the Babri structure. But why they are not ready to accept today? Yes, that model was wrong. No, that was right. So the problem is with them, not with us. They keep on harping on the issues which Nehruji has raised. And again, I would like to say, if you want to put up the issue of General Narawane's non-published book through an unverified source, because you know that on the floor of the House, the media report is not considered a substantive source. And then you are saying that this is your right. No. Politically speaking, we would have allowed Rahul Gandhi to speak because whenever he speaks, he gives a point in favor of Bharatiya Janata Party. But it was not the issue of political scoring a point. It was an issue of constitutional validity and following the procedure in strict technical adherence, which was not there. And if you want to rake up the issue, Rajdeep ji, I have mentioned today that when you are trying to say like this, on 19 November 1962, Jawaharlal Nehru ji has written a letter to Kennedy that I want a squadron of B-2 bombers and we are not having pilot. You give the pilot, you give the technicians, you give the radar persons and you take the command in a way. And when B.K. Nehru, who was the ambassador of India in America and who was also the nephew of Jawaharlal Nehru, यानी चाचा जी के असली भतीजे वही थे, उन्होंने अपनी किताब में लिखा है nice guys finish second. उस बुक में उन्होंने लिखा कि when I was going to give this letter, I was so ashamed. I was so ashamed when he was giving to the advisor of the then President of America. When I came back in the car, I couldn't stop from weeping.
If you question
this was
Prime
the
Minister Modi and the
typical
government in
step.
what they have done or not done vis-a-vis China, you will rake 1962 up. Am I correct? For you, Jawaharlal Nehru still haunts you.
No.
Somewhere you believe every time Congress rakes up an issue linked to national security, you will then bring up 1962 and Jawaharlal Nehru.
Well, just one thing. It's not Nehru haunts us. It is Nehru haunts Congress. We rake up the issues of those Congress leaders. Subhash Chandra Bose was Congress leader. Congress doesn't want to associate with them. Sardar Patel was Congress leader. They doesn't want to associate with them. Prime Minister Modi has given Bharat Ratna to Pranab Mukherjee. He was a Congress leader. They do not want to associate with them. He has given Bharat Ratna to Madan Mohan Malviya. He was Congress leader. You do not want to attach with them. Even Prime Minister has given Padma Award to Tarun Gogoi, to S.C. Zamir, to P.V. Narasimha Rao, who was a Congress leader. The problem is that the Nehru family haunts to the Congress. And it is creating a haunting situation for them. They are not ready to look at the achievement of any other person, any other prime minister, any other leader in their party except the family. So family is haunting their mindset, not our.
I've heard you patiently. Jothimani, respond to what you're hearing. According to the BJP, the Prime Minister raises Jawaharlal Nehru, Indira Gandhi because you're still haunted. The Congress is haunted by Nehru-Gandhi legacy, which is why you have Rahul Gandhi as your leader, and therefore the Prime Minister, according to them, is only justified in targeting you.
Hope, Rajdeep ji, you will give the same uninterrupted time to me as well. See, why should we are haunted by Nehru ji? Because the Gandhi family sacrificed even their lives for the country. Nehruji spent majority of his life in jail, while the current BJP's forefathers actually nailed down in front of British and become a traitors to this country. Second thing, so what is the real issue today? The real issue is there is a Indo-American trade deal. In the trade deal was announced by the US President, where Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, without his ministerial colleagues knowing, sold out this country to Trump because to save his own interest, Mr. Adani's interest and BJP interest. So he sold out our farmers, he sold out our MSME. How come you haven't seen this, what not only Trump's tweet, their agriculture secretary tweet. So he says, actually India is a huge market, our agriculture deficit will go because India has opened its market. Tell me how Indian farmers will stand in front of American goods. Narendra Modi, over a phone call, completely destroyed entire India and Indian farmers. So what we expect today, the Prime Minister of the country will speak in the floor of the Parliament. There is a deal which announced by the Trump. He is actually claiming so many controversial points, which Prime Minister Narendra Modi is keeping silence till now, except that 18%. Earlier it was 2 to 3%.
No, but why could you not, ma'am, I've listened to you. Why could you not, ma'am, instead of walking out of Parliament, you could have raised this. Jothimani ji, you could have raised this issue instead of walking out. This is precise. You could have get out the Prime Minister on this.
I'm coming to the point. Leader of opposition. No, listen. Leader of opposition, Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji, wanted to raise the same issue. Not only Naravane issue is very clear. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is afraid of China. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is afraid of US. Now Prime Minister Narendra Modi is afraid of women Congress MPs also. The fear is crippled the Prime Minister. That's what I would like to make a point. The fear is completely crippled the Prime Minister. He is the weakest Prime Minister in the independence India's history. So that is why he does not want to talk about real issues. He wants to go on and on bashing Gandhi family. We are used to it. We know Gandhi family is respected beyond political differences. They actually sacrifice their entire life. They built this nation. So we don't care what Prime Minister Narendra Modi is saying about Gandhi family and the Congress party, because we stood by this country and sacrificed everything. Still, we fighting to uphold the values of this country. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi is not ready to answer single thing. Why his name is figured out in the Epstein files? Why his Minister Rajdeep Sardesai's name is figured out in the Epstein file? Epstein file is not something very simple. It was released by a US department. In this, Epstein is a pedophile. Actually, he's a criminal. Someone is using the young girls for a young girl and supply to many leaders. So many leaders' names in figure out in the list. But why Narendra Modi's name is present there? Why Rajdeep Puri's name is present? Why don't Prime Minister answer those things in the Parliament?
Okay, you made your point.
Why are you stopping Rahul Gandhi to speak from all these real issues?
I've heard you now. You know, Rahul Gandhi is another issue, whether the speaker should have allowed him to speak, because Rahul Gandhi began his speech with Naravne. Had he begun his speech maybe with some of the other issues like the trade deal that you mentioned, it might have been possible for him to speak on those issues.
Dictate, Rajdeep, that
okay,
we
no,
will
it's not me.
What we will speak.
The speaker made a ruling, ma'am.
You are the government.
I am not
dictating.
dictating.
No one to dictate us what we are supposed to speak.
The speaker, at the end of the day, whether you like him or not, makes these rulings. But let's focus on what you've said and let Sudhanshu respond. Sudhanshu Trivedi, the Congress's charges, and they put up placards, Narendra surrender. And they have said because of the Epstein files becoming a hot potato, because of Gautam Adani and the SEC rulings in America, according to the Congress, the government is surrendering to America. The government doesn't want to talk about what happened with China on the border, and therefore they bring in other issues as a diversion. This is the Congress's claim. I'm showing those posters. Your response.
The statement made by our opponent Congress MP it is an example of the height of prejudice presumption to the extent of perversion. Why I am saying like this? When there is no detail of Indo-US nuclear deal, on the floor of the House, Commerce Minister has said that we have protected the interest of our farmers and dairies. If still you are having problem, then it's okay. It's your right. Then you show the base from where the source is coming. Have you seen the details of the news? On the contrary, Commerce Minister had said that whenever the final contours will be decided, it will be told to everybody. Now come to the second point. On the issue of Epstein files, I am unable to understand that why a perverted, charge-sheeted criminal who is a suspicious, conspicuous is being consistently mentioned on the floor of the House. This is an utter disrespect to the August House.
No, but why should your union minister be in touch with him? Your union,
like
there are emails where your union, just a minute, ma'am. There are union ministers in touch with, no, Jothimani ji, please allow me to anchor. If your union minister's name is coming up, the government should issue a clear clarification. Why no clarification?
The Prime Minister name
no, Jothimani ji, please, you cannot interfere.
When anything officially comes, then the official reaction is required. At present, as far as Prime Minister is concerned, not even a single email, not even a single telephone call, not even a single text message, not even a single meeting. And still, the leader of the opposition is saying that he was singing and dancing. Sir, there was only one song that is sang, that was the national anthem of India in Israel, because 2017 Prime Minister visit was a totally official visit, and each and every minute is officially documented. They might have thinking that the national anthem was just a singing, like at the time of Ram Mandir opening. They were saying कि नाच गाना हो रहा था, तो हो सकता है भारत के राष्ट्रगान में भी उनको गाना नजर आ रहा हो. This is up to them. But I want to ask, not even a single email, not even a single text message, not even a single phone call, not even a single meeting, still you want to rely on a charge-sheeted, perverted criminal. This shows the prejudice against Prime Minister Modi to the extent of perversion. That is a fundamental problem. And one more thing I would like to add. मतलब कम से कम ज्योतिमणि जी सही तो बोल रही हैं कि इंडो-यूएस डील का मामला उठाना चाहिए था, but the tutors of Rahul Gandhi ji already given the issue of the book of Narvane, unpublished book of Narvane, so he went upon that with the prescribed format. He didn't thought out that the new issue has erupted in the last 48 hours. He was there. Whatever is dictated by sources, Now I have to go on that. I do not want to apply the
Ma'am,
main.
okay, good point. Can I, Jothimani ji, if Rahul Gandhi wanted to raise all these issues that he's raising outside Parliament, whether it's the Epstein files, whether it is the alleged surrender to America, he could have done all of this on the floor of the House. He decided after the first day, after the speaker had ruled out and said you cannot raise Naravne, he insisted on raising it on second day, on third day, and then you say he's not being allowed to speak. The point is, Jothimani, sometimes you have to also accept in Parliament that howsoever high you are, whether you like it or not, the speaker is above you. You gave the floor as a result to the BJP and the Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi could have made an equally strong 1-hour speech.
Rajdeep ji, I already pointed out this. Will the speaker will decide, or the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, or the Bharatiya Janata Party will decide what Rahul Gandhi will speak in the Parliament, or which is his first point, second point, third point. They will dictate term to us. It's a party hour. He is a floor leader. He is a leader of opposition. He is a leader of this country. He will know what he will speak, when he will speak, what should he will speak. So, who is the speaker? Speaker does not have any power to dictate term to any member what we should speak. Not only leader of opposition, even some normal MP like me, speaker do not have power to dictate terms. So, that's what we are saying. Speaker is completely biased. Speaker runs the house on behalf of a BJP. That day also,
Madam Speaker today
Prime
said,
Minister
Jothimani ji,
something to the Home
Jothimani ji,
Minister.
just a
Then the
minute.
Home
Speaker
Minister and
today
the
said,
Defense Minister.
Madam, 1 minute. Speaker
No,
today said that you are going to
Rahul ji.
physically attack the Prime Minister. That's what the Speaker has
Yeah,
gone
I
on
will
record
answer
to say. Please answer.
Yeah, I want to answer. So, yeah, this is laughable, Rajdeep ji. See, this shows how speaker behave in the Lok Sabha. See, we are the MPs, some women MPs. We are protesting for the last 4 days. We want leader of opposition to speak. Not only we, all the India alliance partners are firmly with us because that is why they don't want to speak, because leader of opposition Rahul ji was not allowed to speak. Rahul ji was coming to the Parliament and trying to speak 4 days. He was not allowed. Top of that, this Nishikant Dubey was being instigated by the top high command of the BJP and talking such a derogatory, awkward, ugly things about the former Prime Minister in this country. We went to the Speaker. The Speaker said, 4 o'clock you will come, I will do something. Then 4 o'clock we went. He said, I told the government didn't come back to me. Then who ran this house? Obviously, Speaker conceded that Speaker is not running the house. The top of the government is running the house. That's what our charges is. The Speaker is forced to say unbelievable, laughable lies even for against women
You're
MPs.
calling it,
Tell
okay,
me,
ma'am. I've heard you, ma'am.
Am I looking like someone who's... Yeah.
I've heard you.
No, am I looking like someone who go and attack the Prime Minister? Because they are women. They can't stand women raising questions. Woman is protesting against the Prime Minister. Woman is protesting against the ruling party. They can't stand women. That is because their ideology is against women.
I've heard you.
That is why actually they are making this kind of absurd allegation against us. That shows their characters, not ours.
Trying to give equal time. Okay, you're saying it shows their character. There's one point though, Sudhanshu Trivedi, which troubled me today. Prime Minister used the reference that Rahul Gandhi made to Ravinder Bittu, his former colleague, where he had called him a traitor. And Prime Minister said, "Ye Gaddar versus Sardar hai, Sardaro ka apman hai." Now, when you say that, don't you think these are statements which perhaps don't reflect statesmanship? They are playing to the gallery. This is whatever else the Congress has done, and for 1984, the Congress deserves to be completely condemned. Let's be clear. For the anti-Sikh riots that took place, Congress has blood on its hands. I'm very clear on that. But the same Congress had Manmohan Singh as Prime Minister for 10 years. Today now, based on what happened outside, it appeared to me as an outsider as banter. One person called other Desh ka Dushman, one said traitor. To now rake it up and say Sabhi Sardaro ka apman hua hai. Is this something that only is meant to inflame passions? Should the Prime Minister have even got into it? It happened outside the house.
Okay. Rajdeep, I will answer both the things. Your question and also on the issue of what Jothimani ji has spoken. She is saying that the women MPs were making their issue, okay, no problem. Then you can enter in the well, okay, no problem. Then why you come to the side of treasuries? and then you're having a banner and a shield of women MPs, and then try to enter into the benches of treasuries. How this can be a right? Your right can be the protest from your own seat, from the own area.
This is
You
right.
cannot enter there. And I would like to ask
No.
that putting the shield of women with the banners in the hand, which is prohibited in the parliament, from where you have got the idea? From Shaheen Bagh or Gaza? This is the same model which has been used in Shaheen Bagh or other protests that put a shield of women with a banner and keep on moving ahead. So
Shame
they
on
tried
you,
to create a Shaheen Bagh
Shame on
the
you.
floor of the Lok Sabha. This is my
Shame on you,
allegation.
Sushant.
And one more thing I would like to say. Now, what you have said about the
Sikhs.
Sardar issue. Rajdeep ji, if there is a personal conflict between two persons, and the caste of one person is sued, so suddenly the Congress said, oh, it's attack on Dalits. Okay. If there is a personal conflict between two persons and one is Muslim, oh, it's attack on Muslims. And even if a Muslim is a criminal and a terrorist, and he is being hanged by the due process of law, oh, it's an attack on Muslims. And when you are saying...
This is wrong,
to
Rajdeep ji. You should not allow this. How can you
No,
use this
what
word
is
like
that?
this? Rajdeep ji, this is
He
very
represents-
unacceptable using
Bayan
such kind of
Singh,
language.
who has
No, this
sacrificed
is wrong.
and laid down his life. Don't
No,
shout.
one
No,
minute.
this is wrong. How
Don't
can
shout.
you use
No, no,
that
madam.
word
Just one-on-one
on
debate.
one
Need
religion?
not to shout.
No, it's not
No,
about
this
one.
is wrong, Rajdeep.
I have
You
asked him a
should
question.
stop
I have
him
asked
saying
him a
that.
question,
This is
madam. Ma'am, he should be allowed to complete, and then I'm coming to you. Finish up in 30
he
seconds,
can't use
Sudhanshu
such
ji.
language.
Okay,
No, that
okay.
This is one-on-one debate.
That's
There
not
is no
correct,
need of
Rajdeep ji.
heckling.
That can't be acceptable.
Madam, 1 minute. Yes, finish up, Sudhanshu.
No, we are not heckling. You just...
Are
speak
you
with
wait for your
dignity
turn and it destroy my argument. But wait for
I'm
your
gonna-
turn.
I'll let you speak.
So,
yeah,
the
go ahead,
answer-
finish up.
Opposing, no, I'm
Ranveer
Yeah,
Singh
okay,
objecting
you
to what
opposed
you are
it. I've
using
taken
against
your
He's a
position on
grandson of
record. Now
Bayan Singh.
put down a fader. Yeah, go ahead. Finish up, Sudhanshu. Was this the kind of statement the Prime Minister should make? Is it
Yes,
not
sir.
dangerous and
Ranveer
inflammatory?
Singh Bittu belongs to the family of Bayan Singh, Chief Minister. Suniye, but he represents the family of Bayan Singh ji, who has laid down his life for the country and not taken any Bharat Ratna. And you have humiliated Amrinder Singh, who was the only Chief Minister who was capable of stopping the Modi wave in the entire country from 2014 to 17. And forget about that. Gandhi family has said, Priyanka Gandhi openly said that she is ready to forgive the killers of her father Rajiv Gandhi. But had they given any statement, they are ready to forgive the killers of Indira Gandhi? No. So their hatred from Bada Ped Girta Hai to Dharti Hilti Hai to Ranveer Singh Bittu shows a pattern. So that's why
You know,
ye
that,
Gaddar
as
nahi,
I
Khuddar
said, it's
ki
very,
baat thi.
you know, it,
Rajiv-
you know,
Rajdeep ji,
no,
jo
Sudhanshu ji,
खुददार
I have
hai,
high regard
wo
for you.
Congress mein nahi reh sakta.
Acha,
और जो
okay.
देश का
Rajdeep ji,
वफादार
You
है,
know,
उसके
the
लिए बहुत
fact
समस्या है.
is, as I
Rajdeep ji,
said,
this
this is
is
the
not
same Congress
acceptable.
party, just a minute, had made Manmohan Singh as their Prime Minister for 10 years. So I think to rake up the Sikh issue in the context of what appeared clearly targeting someone who had left the party, I thought maybe was a bit of an overreaction.
I
and
want
an
to make
attempt
one quick point.
Madam, just a minute. Now you tell me, madam, all of what you are saying, you could have, I come back to it. If Rahul Gandhi and the Congress party believe that Narendra Modi's government has failed on various issues, this was the opportunity to completely nail them inside Parliament. Don't you think it's a missed opportunity, ma'am, in that sense?
See, I'm coming to that quickly. I make one point. Me and Bittu were colleagues from the beginning in the Youth Congress. Bittu was made as a Youth Congress president. Bittu was made many times MPs because of Rahul Gandhi. He backstabbed us and went to BJP. So we have every right to point out someone who actually who backstabbed us. So there is no point, no Sikh
could have
will
called him
accept
a
this kind
betrayer.
of
You
backstabbing.
could have called him a
So
betrayer
there is
instead
no
of
point.
traitor.
You expect. No,
could have said he
there is
betrayed the
slight
Congress.
difference only, Rajdeep ji. That is very wrong. You see, you don't have an ideology. You are with Congress. Then you go to BJP, totally against it. What do you expect us to call him? So then also there is no point to expect PM behave like a statesman. He never behaved one. So now coming to your point. See, I just want to say time and again, we wanted to speak every issue which is affecting this country in the floor of the parliament. That is why our fight, why we went to the treasury benches side, as Sudhanshu said, it's not prohibited. Protest is our right. It's a fundamental right. Constitution has enshrined in everybody, not only the member of parliament. So we have every right to protest. They have protested when we were ruling. They were in opposition. They have protested with banner, placard, whatever
Right.
it is. So that is a democratical form. So there is no point to tell us not to protest. We wanted to speak in the parliament. Rahulji was not allowed by the none other than Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and the Home Minister and the Defence Minister
You're
of this
saying
country.
that you're saying the Lok Sabha Speaker was working. You're making a serious charge. You are saying Lok Sabha Speaker was working under the instructions of Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Shah to prevent Rahul Gandhi from speaking in Parliament. That's the charge you are making here on the show. I will give 30
obvious.
That is obvious.
Yeah, that
okay.
is very obvious.
You believe that it was entirely orchestrated. I have taken your point.
Let me give me 20 seconds. I want to finish. Yeah, I want to finish, Rajiv ji. So the Prime Minister and the BJP does not want us to raise very important issue which shows Prime Minister in a poor light. Prime Minister was weak. He let down the country. He sold out the country. He does not want Rahulji say that in the floor of the parliament. That is why they are trying to silence us. But we are not silent.
I've heard both sides.
Now we are exposed the Prime Minister and the BJP.
I've heard both sides. I've given you equal time. I've heard both sides. I've tried to do what perhaps the Lok Sabha Speaker unfortunately has failed to do. Give both sides equal time. That's what democracy really should be. That both sides should be heard. This time in Parliament, unfortunately, for whatever reason, only one side's voice dominated over the other. Sudhanshu Trivedi and Jothimani ji for joining me here. Thank you very much on my face-off. Meanwhile, Union Minister Piyush Goyal today said that the first tranche of the bilateral trade pact of India and the United States is almost ready, with a joint statement likely in 4 days and the formal agreement likely in the middle of March. Now, that was Piyush Goyal. Listen into what he said.
बहुत ही सार्थक चर्चा चल रही है भारत और यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका के बीच, जो हमारे दोनों नेताओं ने निर्णय लिया है. हमारा पहला ट्रांच बायलैटरल ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट का लगभग तैयार हो गया है. हमारी उम्मीद है कि अगले 4-5 दिन में हम एक जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका और भारत के बीच में फाइनलाइज करके साइन कर देंगे और उस जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट के आधार पर शुरुआत हो जाएगी हमारे दोनों के बीच में इस समझौते की पहली कड़ी. साथ ही साथ एक फॉर्मल एग्रीमेंट ड्राफ्ट हो रहा है जिसको शायद महीना भर 1.5 महीना लग सकता है और उस फॉर्मल एग्रीमेंट को मिड मार्च तक साइन करने का अंदाजा है. लेकिन 18% जो यूएस टैरिफ्स घटने हैं वो जॉइंट स्टेटमेंट अनाउंस होने के बाद एग्जीक्यूटिव ऑर्डर द्वारा यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका कर देगा.
Okay, let's then turn to the critical issue of that trade deal, likely impending trade deal, which is agriculture. Lots of questions whether India's markets are going to be open now to US agricultural products. Is that a good thing or not? What could be the implications? Who better than to answer that than the country's leading expert on agriculture, distinguished Professor Agriculture at ICRIA, Professor Ashok Gulati. Appreciate your joining us. In the Indo-US trade deal, one red line and the one uncertainty is over agriculture, particularly after comments from the US Agriculture Secretary and other officials saying that America will now get a huge benefit of access to our markets of agriculture products. Should that worry Indian farmers if the US gets unlimited access to Indian markets for their agriculture produce?
Well, as they say, devil is in the details, and we yet don't know the details. So it's a little premature to comment on that. But overall, I would say my feeling is, and whatever I'm reading from the two sides, is that there would be those commodities which are open, which are not very much produced in India. I'll give you the example of almonds have been coming from US. Almost 90% of what you're consuming in the country is coming from California at a duty of about 13-14%. Whereas walnuts have a duty of 100%. What is the rationale of that? I don't understand. So their interest is on many dry fruits, cranberry and all that. The big issue is in case of soybean, corn, and dairy products, if at all. And that is an issue of GM and non-vegetarian cows there.
So would you draw a red line, particularly on genetically modified soya bean and corn? Would you say that the Indian negotiators have to say that that is an area India is not ready to concede to US demand to allow corn, GM corn and soya bean easy access to Indian markets or ethanol?
You know, it's always a give and take. And I feel in trade deal, you can't take one stand, no, nothing will come. That's an extreme position. Then how do we get access to our labor intensive products like textiles or leather goods or gems and jewelry and even our shrimps? You know, if they attract 50% duty, we were gone, literally. So I think it's always a give and take. Now the issue of GM, you know, the GM has been in our food system since 2002. Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee opened up BT cotton, and our production, which was 13 million bales at that time, jumped to 39 million bales within 10 years. And the seed of cotton is in the food system, both for animal feed, poultry feed, as well as cottonseed oil. And soybean oil is coming from US in any case. So, you know, saying that nothing of soya will come, soybean oil is already coming. But whether soybean can come, how much quantity, at what tariff rate, that is all a matter of negotiation, and I'm sure our negotiators have taken care of that.
You know, you're saying that you're confident our negotiators have taken care of that, but is there a sense that eventually this could become a very uneven battle, given the sheer power of the US agricultural market? Dairying, for example, another area where India is saying that they will draw a red line. Can India and Indian farmers really compete with high-tech American farmers when it comes to agriculture?
You know, 80% of our products are very competitive. In fact, we could be exporting. So agriculture is not a gone case. It's a very efficient sector, except edible oils, and that too for palm. That is the cheapest oil in the world. And that's coming from Indonesia and Malaysia. A bit of pulses. Uh, you know, the statements that I read from the two ends, our ministers are saying they have fully protected the smallholders and agriculture will not be impacted. But when I read the US Secretary Agriculture and they say, oh, we are going to flood the Indian market and so on and so forth. I trust my own ministers more than what the tweets are from the US side. So if there is a quota and gradually the tariffs are reduced, and that is the way things have to be in every sector. Agriculture is not very different on that account.
In a sense, though, Professor Gulati, is this a time and opportunity for Indian agriculture to reform? Given the challenge, as I said, that exists from US agriculture, there will be opportunities. Do you believe that a debate should start on agri reform, or do you believe it's a political hot potato that no one will touch after what happened to the government's earlier plans for agriculture reform?
I would say the reforms in agriculture are overdue, and it was good to see after, President Trump's tariffs threat and so on and so forth, when he had raised it to 50%, Indian government got into action and did a lot of reforms of GST and doing ease business and so on and so forth. So, sometimes when you are faced with a challenging time, that's the time to reform and come out successfully. And I think Modi government has done pretty good coming out of this 50% tariff. Our exports have not dropped drastically, no hue and cry on that front. And our growth rate has sustained unexpectedly more than what perhaps any economist, or at least I never expected 7.4% growth rate in GDP would be there. And they have achieved that. So we have to give some credit, whatever they have done in the face of these challenges.
Sir, but farming in India, I come back to the agriculture point. Farming in India remains largely unmechanized, small fragmented land holdings. They don't have very little scope for large machinery. US farms, cutting edge equipment, even now AI-driven technologies. How will, I come back to the mismatch. There are many who fear that we are entering a trade deal which could be one-sided. Do you believe these fears are exaggerated?
These fears are exaggerated. I think our farmers, despite the small holding, have been we are on agriculture basis, we are exporting about $6 billion to US, and our imports for last year it was $2.5 billion. This year perhaps it could be $3 billion. So we are a trade surplus even in agriculture with respect to US. And think about whatever stringent conditions of SPS and other things are. Our shrimps have been going, $2 billion is shrimp exports. And overall, to the global market, India's exports of agriculture are $52 billion and imports are $37 billion. So we are a net exporter of agriculture, whereas US, though it's a big exporter, but on the whole, it is a net importer of agriculture. Despite all their machinery, AI, and modern technologies, they are net importers of agriculture. China is the largest net importer of agriculture. India, of the big countries, is a net exporter of agriculture. So there is something our farmers can do.
Reassuring, Professor, your words are reassuring, educative as well. There are those, of course, who are saying this, the trade deals that we are signing, EU, America, all of this could be a 1991-like moment for trade, and possibly some would argue for Indian agriculture. But do you really believe this is a 1991-like moment where we could turn adversity into opportunity?
Well, we have to set our house in order. Our domestic reforms agenda has to be carried through. If you want to compete in the international market, you can't have all around restrictions. Our wheat exports were banned in 2022 when the Ukraine war started. And it is still banned after almost 4 years coming. And it is banned. We could be exporting wheat.
Professor Ashok Gulati, for sharing your wisdom. I always appreciate it. Once the details come out of the trade deal, we'll come back to you to tell us more of the impact on Indian agriculture. But for now, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Let's turn to tonight's good news today story. It comes from a village near Jamshedpur, where women are finding value in waste. The women are transforming discarded plastic to useful products, including vases, plates, and cups. Good news today comes from a village near Jamshedpur.
Women in Gobar Ghusi village, 60 kilometers from Jamshedpur, are finding value in waste. A small group of them collect discarded plastics and old clothes from around 10 nearby villages. Then they transform the waste, which includes wrappers of food items, into useful products. The women make flower vases, baskets, plates and caps from the plastic, while doormats are made from the clothes. The handmade products are reaching big markets like Delhi and Mumbai, and they are priced between 50 to 600 rupees.
11 महिलाओं का ग्रुप था, अब जाके 20 महिलाएं हो गए और ज़्यादातर महिला अब जुड़ रही हैं इस मुहिम से। अब इनको हम लेके जा रहे हैं एक एक्सपो मेला स्प्रिंग लग रहा है दिल्ली में, जहां पे ओवरसीज से भी बायर परचेजर आ रहे हैं, नेशनल परचेजर भी आ रहे हैं, तो इनकी मार्केट को हम अब मेन शहरों में लेके जाएंगे।
फूलदानी हो गया, कढ़ाई हो गया, टोपी हो गया, अब खुद छोलने जिसको जो आता है सर, बड़ा-बड़ा जो घड़ा होता है वो भी बनाते हैं हम लोग, काप बना रहे हैं।
In addition to earning income, the participants in the program say they are doing it for a noble cause.
हम लोग उनका सामान जाइएगा दिल्ली, फिर हम लोग उनका वहाँ बिकना होगा, फिर हम लोग उनका कमाई भी होगा।
पर्यावरण इससे बहुत कुछ नुकसान है। इसमें जैसे खेती में चल गया, कोई चीज लग गया, तो वो जगह वो चीज होने वाला नहीं है।
Each of them earns 5,000 to 7,000 per month. And it has been a year since the movement to recycle plastic started. With Anup Sinha, Bureau Report, India Today.
These are some of the stories that need to be told, stories from parts of the country that often don't get showcased on prime time. Just about enough time to thank you for watching and say stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubhratri, Jai Hind, Namaskar. Tomorrow we have a special roundtable ahead of the T20 World Cup. We'll have guests from Pakistan and more, including Sunil Gavaskar on the show tomorrow. That's tomorrow night, but for now, thanks for watching. Bye for now.